Hey everyone, I'm Brandon, and I'm back with another Big Brother Spoilers intro. Today we're welcoming back a familiar face, Lisa Weintraub from Big Brother 26. This marks her second time on the podcast, and she's bringing the heat with her takes on this new BB27 cast. Lisa opens up about what life has been like since her season aired, who she's rooting for this summer, and how she really feels about some of the big twists so far. Plus, she gets candid about her casting story, her unexpected eviction, what it's been like rewatching her season as a fan. If you loved Lisa the first time around, you're going to love her even more now. Let's get into it.
So great to see you. It's been a year since BB26. How has life been for you since leaving the Big Brother house?
It's great to see you again, Josh. I've missed you, Big Brother Spoilers. And life has been amazing after the show, as always. And currently, I am in Greece eating some Greek salad and spanakopita. So I'm very happy.
So the past year has flown by, but what has been the most challenging part at transitioning back to normal life after Big Brother?
That's a great question. I think nothing really prepares you for the experience in Big Brother, even if you are a super fan. And I think the biggest part after the fact is feeling like people aren't playing the game with you in real life. So sometimes when you hear people whispering, or I'll be like, oh, someone's big brothering me right now, is realizing that I'm in real life and not a game show. So that's been an interesting challenge to work through after getting off.
Yeah, so we just met at Oz's premiere party a few weeks ago. How was that party for you?
Oh, it was the best. I was in my element. I loved hanging out with all of the fans. I think I glittered someone's beard, was kind of iconic. I was glittering drinks. I was glittering everyone's essence. And then I got like a few fun requests. Someone had me glitter their beard. Someone had me glitter their tongue. And someone had me glitter their arm hair. So to each their own.
Was this the first kind of Big Brother event you'd been to?
No, after the finale, there were a handful of events. Also, after I got evicted in West Hollywood, I hosted like a trivia night. So I've been places with Big Brother fans and reality TV fans. And it's always, I love connecting with people. So for me, one of the coolest parts of the experience is meeting the people in real life that are behind us being on the show and translating that experience into another experience of the Big Brother saga. I think one of the coolest things was meeting some people at Oz's House Chops premiere party, and they were like, "We're the people from Twitter. We were standing with you so hard, your mother." And then I was getting their perspective on me playing the game. And then I was sharing my decisions that I was making with them and fusing those two Big Brother fanatic experiences from game player to direct fan has been awesome.
Yeah, and there were a lot of past house guests there. Who were some past house guests you were excited to meet?
Um, well, he wasn't a past house guest, but I was so happy to meet Dash Katz. Like, what an icon
Yeah.
from Squid Game, Netflix's Squid Games. Love him. Redheads have more fun. So I love meeting him. And I met Turner, which was super cool. And Turner's partner, she's awesome. And I also always love seeing Kyland. He's an icon. He showed up at karaoke, and that was really fun. Oh, and the queen of all queens, my favorite person that I met was, of course, Rockstar, because she is a rock star. My best friend, he was like, oh my God, you're going to give like rock star vibes on the show. And so when I met her in real life, it felt like a dream. And she was just as vibey as I thought she would be.
Do you remember who was preseason that said they identified with Rockstar? Was that Ava this season?
Was that because I love Ava? And if Ava thought that, then like, that's why I love you, girl.
And then what about from your season? There were 9 people from your cast. You were happy to catch up with all of your cast?
And I was rooming with Chelsea. It was so good to room with her, see how her life has been since being on Big Brother. Of course, like Diamond Queen. I love seeing Leah, my bestie from the show, and MJ and T Corn. It was really nice to see everyone and be with everyone again. Watch them in their element. It's been a year since we've all been reunited, and the drama seems to settle a little bit.
Yeah, so let's get into Big Brother 27. So who are your early favorite house guests this season?
Ava, definitely, like Queen, stand with you so hard. Vince off of First Impressions, and then I really like Morgan, and I also like watching Morgan's game unfold as well. I think watching the preseason interviews before you actually watch them play is so different. You know, you kind of get a sense of who they're going to be, but then you see them play the game and you mesh with different people. So I really like Morgan and how she's playing the game. And Vince had a great HOH, first HOH. That was a fun one. And I just love Ava. Like the clips of her on Twitter and her doing her own thing and being her own person is great. And I think she's going to be a force to reckon with. I think people are underestimating her right now, and that's really good for her long-term game because she's still there.
Are you rooting for Morgan because she's from LA? Do you root for the LA people since you're from LA?
I mean, you know, I love an LA girl, so she has very like similar vibes to the people that I would hang out with. And I mean, also, of course, just how she carries herself, how she's strategic, and how she's playing the game. I'm really vibing with her, and I think she has a lot of potential. So I'm excited to see the moves that she makes as a gamer and a strong woman.
Does anyone on the cast remind you of somebody else from your season?
The funniest thing that I've seen is that Kelly looks like the child of Lisa and Tucker. I thought that, I was like, I'm dead. That is hilarious. Hands down, like the funniest thing, because people were like, Kelly or Ava reminds us of Lisa, and whoever made the meme of Tucker, Lisa, and Kelly, I was like, they put us side by side, and I was like, that is hilarious. Obviously, there's certain similarities. You know, we thought that like Mickey or Ashley would be more of like a Brooklyn type, or Ava Kelly would be more of a Lisa type, or Lauren or Catherine would be like MJ Leah. So it's fun to see how that is all playing out, and definitely see, I mean, Zach and Matt, like you see the similarities of the types of players and the types of personalities, and it's just cool seeing it from the other side. So there's definitely some similarities. I would say I would vibe with this cast. I think watching this cast and how they're playing and interacting from the live feeds to in like the live shows and the edited shows, I think I would be in the house for longer with this group of people. Just kind of how they're treating some of the more wild card people in the house. I feel like they would vibe with me a little bit more, and I would vibe with them.
So that was my next question of who would you align with if you in this house? Who would you vibe with?
Definitely Ava, definitely Morgan. And I'd probably try to get in with Vince as well. I like how they're playing the game. I like how their mind works in terms of strategy. And what I did in my game the first few days, I didn't make decisions right away. Everyone else bandwagon just went with each other for protection, but my strategy was to get to know each other, see their tells, see how they communicate, see what kind of strategy players they were, and to see if that aligned with my game. Actions speak louder than words, I always said. And that's how I decided who to work with. So I'm kind of doing the same, watching it from the outside and being like, oh, I like the way they're making decisions. I think I would also connect with Ashley as well. She is a businesswoman, and some of the struggles that she's having in the game, connecting with people, or some of the strategy decisions she's making. I like the way her mind works as well. So those would be people that probably I would interact with and want to play the game with.
Yeah, so speaking of Ashley, what do you think of the whole Showergate situation?
Showergate just reminded me of Glittergate, right? So I knew something in there was being exaggerated. Obviously, we saw that Julie gave us like the real scoop on the shower versus she was talking to Vince that first week. And it made like watching it gives you all of the feels, because from me watching it, I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't even know that she's doing anything wrong, because she's not doing anything wrong the same way I didn't do anything wrong. But in the house, literally anything can be misconstrued, or even if it's not misconstrued, someone can just plant a seed and it can make you a target, which is what happened to me. So I felt so badly for her the first week because, like, it's a stressful experience getting into that house and you find comfort where you're at. So, regardless of her talking to Vince, like, girl just wanted to take a shower. At least she's clean. Like, but I was just like, oh no, like they're finding any reason to hate on people the first few weeks. So I'm glad that she's still in the game. I love that she took herself off the block and followed in my footsteps of, you're going to mess with me. Don't even mess with me. I'm going to save myself. I love that for her. I love seeing a woman win the first veto, and I'm excited that she's still there and not a target the second week. I think that's a really good comeback for her game, and that she's not letting the Big Brother rumor mill get her out initially. So I'm very happy that she's there.
What are your thoughts on Rachel Riley coming back?
I mean, iconic. Queen of Big Brother. I would have loved to hang out in the house with Rachel Riley. I think it's an iconic twist from an iconic Big Brother player. I also love that she's in this new era of herself in her life. She's learned from Big Brother. Obviously, she's a winner, and she's still bringing the fire and the sass, but she's also toning it down so far a little bit this season because she doesn't want to be an entire threat right away. So her social game this season is different than past seasons that we've seen. Obviously, we'll see iconic Rachel Riley come out, but she's playing it every step of the way. She's just playing it very differently. So it's really interesting to watch.
You didn't mention Rachel as someone you would work with. Would you target Rachel or would you utilize her in the game?
Definitely utilize her. You don't want to be on Rachel's bad side, but you also don't want to be the one going after her initially. We saw that from Zay. That didn't land well. And like, she's really good at this game and she has experience in this game. So she knows exactly what she's doing. So she would be an asset to the game, but the further that she makes it into the game, the more dangerous she becomes because she's gathering intel on everyone. So I would love to be part of like the team to get her out, but I don't think I would be the one spearheading that team.
And what are your thoughts on this week's Evicted House against Amy?
Amy, I hate to see you go, girly. Obviously, being a second boot myself and having her be a second boot as well hurts my soul. I don't like to see any woman leave the game, and she just brought such spirit into the house. I love like the Mom Squad alliance and loved watching her like connection with Rachel Riley grow. And obviously like she was an accomplice, so she had such potential in the game to continue with her strategy. And I was really sad that she didn't even get one vote, even if she knew or kind of knew. It's still like, as a human being, it hurts. I remember my eviction really, obviously for many reasons, hurt me, but to not have anyone that you think is on your side even throw you that personal vote is a really hard thing as the person receiving it to come from, because she thought she had alliances, she thought she had friends, and then to see a vote of to zero is hard. So I can't wait to talk to her and connect with her, and I wish I got out someone else other than her, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled this week.
So when you say you wish you would have gotten a vote, was you being evicted 11-1, did that make you feel better than 12-0?
Yeah. Thank God for Kenny. Because you know
And
what?
so
I thought I had alliances in the house. That's what was most surprising to me. That, I mean, I had 2 alliances and a final 2, and no one voted for me. So part of my blind side, I think initially thinking, I was like, oh my God, nothing was real. From the alliances I've made, from the friends I made, from playing Big Brother and everything I did for the past 2 weeks, for me, it was all a lie because that is Big Brother. But that's what shocked me even more, because I thought I had very strong alliances. So from from Amy's end to not get any votes, having her alliances, having her final two, I think that's the piece that you're like, oh, wait, is there really no one that voted for me to stay, even if it was strategic? If she was already going, obviously everyone got on that bandwagon to protect themselves in their long game. But it's never fun.
And do you think it was a right decision by the house guests to evict her over Will?
No. It's better for their game, but I don't necessarily agree with it. So, because he's going to be coming for them very soon. And I think that Amy had a different kind of game going on.
Yeah, so Amy was like Jimmy's like fourth option for a target. Jimmy wanted to go after Keanu, after Kelly, after Adrian. Do you like all the twists that helped save all these targets, or is it too chaotic this early in the game?
I mean, chaos is never a bad thing. That's Big Brother for you, right? So it makes it exciting as a viewer, and it also makes it exciting as a player because you have more options to win and you have more options to save yourself. And I think that's the cool part about this twist, that it's not solely based off of he said, she said, let's get you out. It's based off of your own capability to save yourself as well and to challenge yourself to win. And I think that also keeps us all on our toes because it allows the house guests to change their decisions minute by minute. So I'm here for all the twists.
Yeah, so your season and this season did not have a live movement, where the previous few seasons did. Do you like a live movement, or do you like this, how they do it this year? Because people miss the first few days of the live feeds.
I mean, we love the live feeds. Like, what happened? I have to know. So in Big Brother, you want to know everything. As a viewer, you want to know everything. So I definitely miss those days. But the intrigue and the anticipation really add to it. So I wish they turned on those feeds earlier.
Are you keeping up with the feeds, or are you just keeping up through Twitter, or just watching the show? How are you keeping up?
I'm watching the show. I also tap into the Twitterverse because that's where the tea is spilled. So when I need a little bit more juice on everything, the Twitter gods and goddesses are amazing about creating those memes and creating those spoilers and creating the tea that I'm not glued to my live feeds 24/7. So that's how I get my info.
Live feeds isn't your top priority when you're in Greece.
No, I'm on like boats and eating Greek salads and eating hummus and, you know, having a rosé and watching a sunset. So I'll tap in when I need to, but I'm also tapped into my real world out here because I'm not in the Big Brother house. I would have maybe been in Greece last summer if I weren't in the Big Brother house.
What do you think of the have not room with the like the dead body outlines? What do you think of that?
Those are like, they seem impossible to sleep on. At least our bed was a rectangle and you can lay all different ways. This, you literally lay like a murdered victim, and that adds a whole nother diabolical level of psychology to it, as well as ultimate discomfort. But I wonder if, like, after being a have not, they find comfort in that and they just sleep like that for the rest of their time there. But that sounds like a brutal way to sleep. So they're in for a little bit of torture being a have not this season. A little extra torture. At least we had a box.
Yeah, and in the first week, the 4 have-nots were safe. Would you have volunteered to be a have-not if it meant you were safe?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and we saw Rachel, she volunteered to be a have-not the second week as well, so she was a have-not the first 2 weeks.
And that means they're safe?
It was just the first week, but Rachel wanted to be
week.
have-nots weeks in a row. She was trying to lose weight, she said.
Oh, I mean, your body definitely gets snatched in a very different way, but there's also different ways to lose weight by eating healthy and exercising. There's so many different options, but going on sloth is another one, I guess. But I mean, you get a lot of protein and fiber from the oats, so that's one way to do that. But I also think it's really hard because you're hungry and tired because you're not sleeping well and you're not eating the foods that you want to. So I was hangry for a week. So, but I would definitely save myself. Anything that you can do in Big Brother to save you, including going on slop and being a have-not or evicting someone to save yourself. That's what you have to do for the long haul. So I totally get that mentality.
Who do you think is currently playing the best game?
I'd say Ava and Morgan are playing some really good games right now. Ava, because she's underestimated and she's not in the main mix of the voice that's calling all the shots. And I think that's a very powerful place to be. And she's not really anyone's target right now. So I think that's fantastic. It reminds me of Leah, who had a really good social game, and Leah's name didn't really come out of anyone's mouth, and she wasn't a target for a handful of weeks in. So I think that's a great position for Ava to be in. If they're not talking about you in terms of game, in terms of being on the block, and they're not completely leaving you out of it, very sweet spot. And then Morgan, you know, she's a game player. She has a lot of strategy. She has her hand in a lot of honey pots, and she's very strategic and very smart. So I like how they're both playing the game right now.
Did you make a preseason winner pick?
I did. I think I made it in Derek Frazier's video, or it was Hannah's, or it was like both of them. But I think I picked Ava or Vince, if I recall. But you guys can go check that again. But I think I picked both of them.
You feel good about either one of those picks.
I feel great about both of those, and I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah.
And is there anything else BB27 you want to talk about before we get into you and your season a little bit?
I mean, it's very nostalgic watching BB27. I think there's some iconic people on it. Jimmy is giving us all the sass right now. I also love the fits. Like Rachel Riley's fits, she is working it. I don't care what Jimmy says about her outfits. I love that he's giving her like the hard truth about her looks, but I'm really here for some of her eccentric looks. Ava, love her style. And then also like Jimmy and his flair, I'm here for it.
Did you ever meet Rachel, or you haven't got a chance to meet her yet?
I met her on FaceTime. She actually was one of the people that interviewed me after my eviction. Definitely a big fan of her, and we've texted a few times. So like sis energy, big sis energy, you know, redhead energy. And so I'm very happy that she's on this season, and I can't wait to give her a hug in real life. Obviously, if she was at the Big Brother 27 premiere, I would have seen her, but fortunately, she was in the house. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hug her at the premiere party, but at finale night, definitely.
Was her going on the show a surprise for you?
Definitely, but Twitter, I don't trust Twitter, and then I trust Twitter, right? So they had their feelers out, and you know what? When she posted the video of her on vacation, was the first clue that I go, oh, she's definitely on, because that's a decoy message. And that was my first instinct to know that of the people that were being contemplated, that she was the person that was going to be on it. I just had, my intuition was telling me that.
Yeah, so let's get into you and your season. So what is your casting story?
So I can't talk too much about casting, but I had been wanting to get on a show for a while. My best friend was like, Lisa, you would be perfect for Big Brother. I manifested it, and a week later I got the call and I sent in all the information. They were like, would you be interested in being on this season of Big Brother? And obviously I'm iconic, so fast track. A few months later, I'm on Big Brother, and I really felt like I manifested that, because that's what happened. So it was great. There was no doubt in my mind.
Your first time?
Sorry, go ahead.
Was this your first time applying and going through the process, or had you done it before?
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah, and so when you said you wanted to get on a show, was there other shows you were potentially interested in, or was it just Big Brother?
Yeah, there was a few other shows that I had applied for and that people had reached out to me for, but it never aligned. and this one happened. And I remember like talking about it a few months before with my best friend, like you should try to get on Big Brother, you should play the game, you would be amazing at it. And it just happened like that. So I'm very grateful, and manifestation is real.
So looking back on your season, is there anything you wish you would have done differently? Any regrets about your time in the game, or?
I mean, no regrets in terms of the game. I think I made the best decisions possible at every step of the way. And I wish I wasn't too nice at the beginning. I'm a nice person. And when you're in the house, throwing out someone else's name could come back to you. And I didn't want to do that initially. I wanted to let the HOHs choose their targets and then agree upon. But I found myself defending a few people that I wanted to work with, but I realized that they weren't defending me. So that was more in hindsight, 2020. But also you build trust by not saying someone else's name. So you're just trying to make the best decision possible with what you have. And then I would also, like, everyone started playing the game right away. I think, that first week or two, you need numbers. And I think for me, I remember going into the kitchen to cook dinner, and initially the numbers were already forming as people were unpacking. So like my biggest piece of advice is to like not be alone those first like day or two, because that's when it's forming. But I had a very different strategy to want to get to know people before I built alliances and before I overpromised. But that's part of the strategy initially in the first week or two, to be in those numbers. But my word meant a lot to me, and it always does inside the house and outside of the house, and I'm always true to my word. So that's just not the game that I wanted to play. So it's definitely a different universe, unlike anything else in the Big Brother house. And this season's working really differently than ours as well. There's a lot of similarities, but then there's also a lot of, there's split votes initially. Whereas our season, it was more bandwagon votes. So I'm like, oh, these people are like deciding for themselves what's best for the game. And I wish I was a part of it.
So after you were evicted, when you got home, did you watch the episodes that you were in?
I did. I watched some of them, not straight away. I had to take time to process everything, but I watched a majority of my episodes more just to understand for me what happened and what was going on behind closed doors for me to understand my eviction, because as we saw, my eviction was like blindside and like a shock to everyone. So I did watch some of it. I didn't watch all, but I do understand my eviction story.
And then watching the rest of the season after you were evicted, what was that experience like, watching these people on TV that you were just with them in the house?
It's a mind game watching them, because you're like, I was there, or you see what they're really like in their diary room session, and sometimes they're a little different than what you think. And then it's also interesting because you were just there sharing that experience in the diary room or playing those games, so you know what it's like. But it's very different watching it. There's some surprising things that you see.
And so if you couldn't have won your season, who would you have wanted to have won the game?
I'm very happy that Chelsea obviously won the game. She played a great game and like a perfect game. It was amazing, and it was amazing watching a woman win. I was also rooting for T-Core and Leah that season.
And when you were evicted, would you have predicted that Chelsea would have won the game?
No, that's what surprised me as well. And obviously I was evicted on her HOH, and I always tell her, I'm glad I was evicted on your HOH, because if I wasn't, the game would have looked very different for her. So everything that she did was for the game, and everything that everyone is doing obviously is for the game. But even on her HOH, when I might not be the initial target, Tucker maneuvered that. So she agreed upon like that happening. And she was doing what she needed to do to protect her game. And I think that was very strategic for her to not call all the shots in that sense, because that's a long-term social game for her.
It's a positive thing. The winner of your season took you out, so you were a threat to the winner.
There you go. There you go. I was a threat. I was a threat. And if I were still in the house, you know what? She would have been one of my targets. After talking to her, I wanted to like eventually work with her, because I talked to her more week 2 on her HOH, but I also didn't get the chance to work with her, but I got to know her more, obviously. And I thought we were going to be maybe working together potentially, but clearly she had different plans. But yeah, definitely a threat to the HOH. And that's why I was evicted, because the house, they saw me win. They didn't know what I was going to do, which is clear because they didn't pull me into any of their alliances. So they didn't really know where my mind was at, because they weren't necessarily talking game with me.
So at the time you left, who did you think was like a top contender to win the game?
I think initially I thought like Brooklyn was a top contender. Brooklyn was one of my roommates in the unicorn room, and I thought I had a good read on her, and she was really a strong woman, a strong player. And so I thought that she had a lot of potential. I remember that. But then watching different things back, it changes. I also obviously was always like standing with T-Core, because she was underestimated in the house. I don't think people were giving her a fair shot initially, but I saw her potential, and obviously that translated to her being there for the long run. People are very quick to judge in the Big Brother house, and I like to move beyond judgment and go with who the actual person is, and to try to see that aside from a facade going in.
Has your perception of the game changed now that you're back to being a viewer rather than a player?
Yes, definitely. It's changed a lot. It is, again, very different watching it than participating, and it feels different. I think watching it, you feel what these players are experiencing playing the game. I think you feel it more psychologically, how people are playing the game and what they're expressing and what that feels like, at least in your own body, for those decisions. And so I think that's the most interesting part of watching it back from last season to this season. And also just feel like, oh, that's a good move, or that's a bad move, or Twitter's going to freak out about this, or Instagram's going to blow this up. Like it's all still a wild ride being part of it. So
who have you kept in touch with from your season?
I've kept in touch with Leah. I keep in touch with Kenny. I chat with T-Core and MJ sometimes, and Joseph. Joseph and I like talk on the phone every few weeks.
What about people from other seasons? Have you became friends with people from other seasons?
Definitely. Who was I just with? I was just with at the BB27 premiere. Was just with like Azza. Azza's been amazing. Mimi Hayes has been so sweet, and I met Taylor Hale, of course, iconic queen. She's shown up to some events with me last year and has been really supportive, and it's great to see her back on BB Unlocked this season. So there's definitely like alums in the mix, and I'm also excited to meet all the BB27 players as they're evicted out of the house. I know I'm gonna like FaceTime with Amy in a few days, so I'm really excited to meet her and be the alum version that past seasons have been for us and me.
And then what about, is there people from your season that there's any bad blood with, or it's all water under the bridge at this point?
I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. So then other than yourself, who from your cast would you most want to see play Big Brother again or go on another show?
I would love to see Leah again. I would love to see MJ. And then, of course, Matt. Like, first boot is always hard. And he also didn't get a fair chance to play the game as with me. And so would love to see him on something else as well.
Yeah, so this fall we're going to see...
Of course me.
Yeah, so this fall we're going to see, Chelsea, Rabina, Tucker, and Angela on The Amazing Race. You excited for that?
Yes, I'm always excited to see some Big Brother players and their legacy continuing. Also, Cedric's on the challenge. So there's a lot of Big Brother people in the mix on some more shows. I hope to be on one of them in the future as well. And I just like, you got to support the fam.
Are you going to be watching the challenge?
I am. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm a super fan of the challenge and love that Cedric's on it, love that Blue's on it, love that America's on it. Like, keep it in the fam. Hope when we have a Big Brother winner on the challenge. And of course, I got to see what Johnny Bananas and Cara Maria are doing this season on the challenge.
So you'd be interested in doing the Big Brother again in the challenge. What other shows would you be interested in doing?
Definitely Survivor. I mean, I'm in Greece wandering on islands. It's like I'm practicing for living on an island in Survivor. I think if I can do Big Brother, I could do Survivor, and I would love to be on all of these shows to play the game and to compete. I feel like in my season I was unfairly targeted from the beginning, and I didn't get as much chance to play the game as I wanted to. And there's so much potential I have in terms of strategy, being a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, and of course, a brilliant human being to be on another show to kick some ass.
How do you think your season would go if they ran the season back? They put the 16 of you in the house right now. How do you think the season would go? Would it be any different?
Knowing what people know now,
Yeah, if they put the 16 of you into the house right now, do you think Chelsea still comes out a winner? Do you think the boot list is around the same?
is this after knowing who we are and how we played?
Yeah, if they put the 16 of you back into the house like right now.
Oh, for sure. I think it would have very different results. I think people would, there wouldn't be as much kumbaya with some stuff. And I think people's true character that has come out through the show or after the show has shown through, and that people would make very different decisions for their game given what they know now.
Yeah, so you mentioned being a businesswoman and an entrepreneur. So how has your personal life or your career been impacted by your time in the Big Brother?
Say that again?
How has your personal life or your career been impacted by your time on Big Brother?
I mean, there's only growth and elevation from each experience that we have. My businesses are still in Los Angeles, Batch Best Friend and Plates by Lisa. There's more visibility around what I do and who I am. And there's always more opportunity for growth as an entrepreneur, being in the business world, whether it's related to Big Brother, reality TV, and creating more opportunities there. And then also being on site with my clients, catering, and being a personal chef for celebrities. There's so many opportunities, and I'm just the kind of woman to create opportunities for myself and work really hard for them.
Who are some celebrities that you've cooked for before?
One of my clients is Paris Hilton. I also work with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I've worked with some MLB players and NFL players like Fred Warner of the 49ers. And there's also a few secret people that I've worked for. I'm NDA'd, and that's why I was also casted for Big Brother, because I know how to keep secrets that not even my mother knows.
Yeah, so living in LA, do you get recognized from the show a lot?
I do. I love it. I go into like my local like matcha shop and grab my matcha, and someone's like, "Oh my God, hi, are you Lisa?" And then what? I was at West Hollywood Pride this year, and I think at least like 50 people recognized me. It was sometimes even more than just like the fan parties. So I absolutely love that. I love connecting with my community where I live and seeing people in real life that loved watching me on the show, follow my journey as a person, and love me in real life as well. So if anyone ever meets me in real life, I will always talk to them. I'll give them a hug. I've met some people traveling as well. Like when I was in Mexico, a few people recognized me. Obviously, when I was in New York, people recognized me. So it's not just America. So whoever knows me, come say hi. I will love to talk to you, love to meet you. I think meeting people is my favorite part of the show. And I think I just had this thought the other day. I'm like walking around Greece and meeting people and chatting with locals and just making friends. And I'm like, everyone loves me. And that's why I was like so taken aback when I was in the house, that people didn't like me in the house, because I was like, what are you talking about? Everyone in life loves me. So I think that was the most shocking thing when I was evicted, and to hear some of the stories that were happening in the internet about me. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm the best.
Have you learned anything about yourself through your time on the show?
I mean, there's always learning curves and introspection time. So I've definitely reflected on different experiences, and my relationship always to myself and knowing who I am and my shine and sparkle will always ascend anyone else's opinion or perception of me, because I know who I am. So there's always different things to have awareness of. And I think the biggest thing is perception, because I don't perceive myself how other people perceive me. And it's interesting to hear some stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be myself. I love who I am. I'm unique. I am loving. I am kind, and I'm one of a kind. So that's never going to stop me from being who I am.
And what advice do you have for future house guests based on your own experience?
You're stronger than you think. And even on the hardest days in the house, you can pick yourself up and keep moving forward with who you are, and never stop playing the game, because the game is always on.
And do you have any upcoming projects or events that you'd like to share with your fans watching this?
I mean, there might be something fun happening that you need to follow me on Instagram to find out about, so you can stay updated on my tea this season and some tea that I might be sharing. So make sure you're following me on the gram at Dulce de Lisa. She's sweet, and she just won the spelling bee. And as always, there's exciting things happening with my businesses, Plates by Lisa and Batch Best Friend. And there might be a few more things in the mix within my career that I'm not allowed to say right now. But again, if you follow my journey, you can follow me there. And of course, I'm traveling and sharing all of my travel content and experiences and stories. I think we make the world a better place by connecting with each other and connecting with different stories and experiences. And I'm sharing mine authentically from my travels here in Greece and beyond.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much for joining me while you're in Greece. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure to catch up and get your insights in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next.
Sounds good. Thank you, Josh.